Welcome to Greenwood Bonsai Studio today. I've been away for a couple of days. Had that big show last weekend, the Bonsai Expo. It was a really well attended show, some amazing trees on display. I nipped away for a couple of days. I've come back, we had some warm weather and trees have changed just in the last 2 to 3 days. Got trees that are more in leaf. We've had a big delivery of trees arrive this week and I've just been working on these today. These trident maples, heavy trunk, because we've got a selection of these. They've just gone on to the website today. A big mountain hemlock that we bought this year. It's just putting new growth on, looking really good. It was repotted a few weeks ago. We're going to wander into the studio to show you what we've got in there, something a little bit special turned up this week. Before we do that, we showed you these last week, and this cedar is starting to push new growth, doing really well. And the dissector we showed you last week, and it just started coming into leaf. Been outside for a week now. Leaves are fully open, got a bit more density to it, looks so much better. We go in the studio, we've got a little thing lined up for you. We've got some Shishigashira maples in here, along with some others. So we're just getting ready for courses. We've got classes this weekend, so we're just getting ready for that. We're putting on display of trees. We've got a little Chinese quince that just arrived today. I've just been, needs a little bit of pruning, do some work on that. This is my Shishigashira maple, Aesopal martum Shishigashira, just coming into leaf. We've lifted it in because it's going to give it, there's a little chance of frost in a couple of days. You can see this little tip here, that's just got caught by frost just this week. See the bright colours on it. You can see that, look, tiny little bit just got nipped by frost. To avoid that happening the next few days, we've lifted it in here into the studio. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Shishigashira maples. I know it's a bit of a mouthful. The lion's head maple, it's one of my favourite types of Aesopal martum, and we've got a selection of them. They're quite rare, though my friend says they're not actually that rare, it's just that I buy them all and there's none left for him to buy. So we'll see. We've got a couple out for sale at the moment. This one we took to the expo show last week on the sales table, so if you were there you might have seen this one for sale. This is a larger one, it's been outside all winter. It's a little bit greener than that one, quite bright on display. This next one is one of mine. This was my exhibition tree at the expo show last week, on a walnut, handmade walnut table that complements the colour in the pot. Faultless tree. Had a lot of people come up to me last week and say it was a standout tree for them at that show. It was really well, in really good leaf, not a mark on it. It did us proud. Even we trimmed it last week for the show, and the week on, look, leaves like this now want to come off. This little one wants to come off. So just in that short space of time, it's grown quite well. This tree I've had about 6 years. Here's a photograph of the tree when I bought it 6 years ago. It was in a tiny pot, long growth at the top, and it's took me that time to get it back into shape and revitalise it and put it into this pot. So this is one I've had for a while. It's got a very good structure for a Shishigashira. They can be a little bit awkward in structure, branch-wise, and this has got really good movement, taper, and the branches are in the sort of right places. It's difficult to find. This is another Shishigashira that I bought at the World Bonsai Convention. That must be 6 or 7 years ago now. And I bought it there, and it was imported by a friend of mine into Holland. So this first photograph here is the photograph of it, of me looking quite proud when I bought it in Japan. And the next photograph here is what it looked like in Holland when I went to pick it up. And this third photograph is just taken the day after, when it was back in England and it was trimmed and potted. So from those photographs, I've worked with it to get it to this stage, and we're very fortunate I had the potential to take either of these trees to the expo show. We went for the other one there because it has better structure. But this has got a better nabari, good base, thicker trunk, but there's a couple of branches in here, sort of a little bit in the wrong place, where that's better branch. You can't see the structure of these when they're in full leaf. So a few weeks ago, a few months ago now, I got offered to buy a Shishigashira that was in Japan, and I had to make my decision based on a little 2-inch photograph on my iPhone, and I decided I'd have it, but I couldn't see the structure because it was in leaf. So I bought it. It just turned up yesterday. I've been away for a couple of days. I've come back this morning, and this is it here. Now, I knew it was going to be big, and on this video, trees never look as big as they actually are. So this one just turned up yesterday. Ace upon Martin Shishigashira, an absolute monster of a Shishigashira. From the Nabari here on the left to here on the right is about 20 inch. It's about a 25, 26 inch pot. And this is as it's come in. I haven't touched it. I was hoping to get it in time to repot it, which I can't. It's now coming into leaf. So it wants a little bit of pruning. Let me just turn it round so you can see. That was the front towards you as we started. If we turn it round here, there's a big scar here where obviously a sacrifice branch has been grown to thicken up the trunk. But that's healing really well, callousing over quite well, so that's not really an issue. Let's have another one here. This is to get the taper into the upper section of the tree. One here and one up there. As we turn it around, I've been working on other trees today. I've been working on those trident maples, and as I said, this wants a little bit of trimming and tidying up. Very dense tree, too much growth in this. We need to do a little bit to it. We know this is going to be the front. I need to uncover and try and find if there's any more surface roots beneath this moss and weeds and soil. So that's my next job to do. But briefly looking at it, just a couple of things we can do to make it a little bit better. This branch here, very juvenile, just straight, sticking up here, not really doing anything. So that one there is an obvious candidate to come out. It's going to show us the trunk, show the trunk off a little bit more. So take that back with a concave pruner. And then same with this one here, coming off this low branch on the right, this one cutting across the trunk. I like to see a bit of the trunk, particularly when it's as impressive as this. So this one's going to come back like that to open that up a little bit, and then this one like this, this one like this. You see, just those couple of cuts have made a difference. This will leaf out. Look, it's got buds on it. And then when we get up here, I just noticed this branch earlier. See this one, a big lump on it here. You can see behind my, in front of my, put my hand behind it. This isn't very attractive at all. Now, what this branch is actually giving us in way of foliage, look, is that little sprout here and this little sprout here. So that isn't worth keeping for what it's actually giving us. So that's the next one to come off. So we can take that off with a saw, come around here. There we go, just made it before the battery went. So we can neaten that cut up in time. There's another one higher up here. That's got no growth on it there at all. So that we can take that off there as well. And the next thing with this, is to work through it, giving it a trim. I'm not going to rush it. I've been waiting for this tree to arrive for several months, and now it's here. I want to spend my time sort of getting to know it and pruning it and having a look at the structure. But we wanted to just document the first day of it being here and to show you what it looked like when we first had it. I'll give you a little bit of a thing as a giggle. Yeah, this tree, I bought it off a photograph and I didn't think it'd be quite this big. So at the trophy show the other week, I bought this pot for it, and it's a beautiful pot. I love the colour, and I've had this saved thinking, when that Shishigashira turns up, it will go in that pot. I can tell you now, there's no way that tree is going in this pot, yeah? If only I could stretch this pot a little bit more, look how good it would look, the colour against the tree. So I just wasn't prepared for the size of this. Off the photograph, it's probably 50% bigger than I thought it was going to be. And if you're watching this on a video, I don't think the video is going to really translate to you the size of this tree. But it'll be on display here in just in a few weeks' time. 11th and 12th of May, we have our annual Bonsai Bash event here at Greenwood Bonsai Studio. Exhibition of my trees. I do demonstrations, I have an open weekend. So any of those that are visiting, I should do my best to have this trimmed and on display for you to see and enjoy at the Bonsai Bash. So just a little insight into what we've been working on. Before we just go, this is a new arrival as well, semi-cascade Japanese maple. Quite unusual to get one in that style. Potentially going to be repotted next year, but I've just been pruning that. I've just finished doing that, and now on to this one. I think this is, I have to think of a name for this. Somebody commented on one of my videos the other day and said, do I give them names? I don't normally, but maybe we should start with this one. And thank you for watching, and all the best. Thank you very much.